Live and blessed. Guys, welcome to Supply and Demand Mastery course, guys. How do we trade supply and demand on the bull market? Guys, let's get right into it, guys. Supply and demand, guys. Price is going to always respect a supply zone, and it's going to always respect a demand zone. But not always. Let's be realistic, guys. Out of 10 times, price will respect a supply zone, give or take 6 times. The other 4% is going to respect the order block, right? So supply and demand is all fun and all, but price will normally either tap into the supply zone like I taught you guys, or it will tap into the demand zone. Also, what price could do, guys, even though this is a supply zone here, instead of touching the supply zone, guys, price could come right here and eventually come back down. Before you even get a chance, guys, to enter the trade, price will come here and come back down. But why would price come here? Because it was an order block located here, okay? So even though you guys are trading supply and demand, you guys must also watch out for an order block, because even though if you guys, for example, if you guys have no clue what is an order block and you guys are just trading supply and demand, and this trade is about to meet your criteria because you're waiting for price to come back in the supply zone there when you would want to enter the trade. So let's say you're waiting patiently to this price here to come in this trade, and then you want to enter the short, right? So let's say you guys come here and you put your short there because you're saying, as long as price enter this supply zone, I will enter the trade, which is correct, right? So what you guys will want to do and will be planning to do, you guys will wait for price to come back in the supply zone, right? But what price will do, like I said, price will come right here, guys, and never even get to touch the supply zone, then the trade still went in your favor, but you guys wasn't even aware of why the trade went against you guys. But the reason you guys wasn't aware, because you guys didn't understand it was an order block also that was fine. Because guys, you can also find an order block in the supply zone and an order block in the demand zone. So even though you guys are trading supply and demand, also watch for a what? There we go. So guys, with that being said, guys, how do we really trade a supply and demand? First thing we want to do, guys, is always wait for price to mimic a what? Supply zone or demand zone. Even though, guys, this trade is on a bull market, like I said, what I'm teaching you guys is we don't care. We really don't. If market go up or down, we don't care. We're scalpers, we're intraday traders, we're swing traders. We do it all, guys. We do all in one. So how do you guys trade a supply and demand zone? The first thing you want to do, guys, for all you scalpers out there, wait for price to mimic a demand zone first. See how price mimic the demand zone here? Wait for the pullback, guys. Wait for price to go off. It had a breakout structure here. So price went up and it came back down. See how it came back down? And this, even though, guys, this previous low was lower than the previous low, it was still in a demand zone, right? So even though, like I told you guys, wait on the pullback. And I taught you guys this. I said, even though make sure the pullback there, it's lower than the previous, it's higher than the previous low. If price was to be lower than the previous low, it would have been no, price would have reversed, right? So I always tell you guys, wait for price to make the pullback and make sure the pullback is also higher than the previous low. But in this situation, see how price came down, break it. Even though it break it, guys, it was still in a demand zone. And as you guys notice, price never break the demand zone, right? So even though the pullback happened and the previous low was lower than the previous low, it was still in the demand zone, guys. And the extra confirmation code is, as long as price do not dare show one wick, a piece of candlestick below the demand zone, we're all good. Vice versa, you guys see how price went back up. So even though, guys, look how many trades we got by simply doing this, right? We have one trade here, like I told you guys, on the pullback. So we have one trade there, right? We have a next quick scalp here for long. Look how many trades, look guys, look how many trades I've drawn up on this one chart, and this is on a bull market, right? Look at this shit, guys. Look at all the knowledge I'm giving you guys, right? On the pullback, So even though price hit the demand zone here, for you scalper, don't wait on the pullback. For you scalper, just take the trade and go take profit. For take profit, it's up to you where you want to take profit, but I would always recommend you take profit. So take profit, don't be greedy, and always put your stop loss. I can't control, I can't control where you put your stop loss, right? I can't teach you that. Where you want to put your stop loss, it's up to you. I'm going to teach you the right way how to do it, but scalping is fine. But I'm going to always teach you where to put your stop loss because I care about guys. What I care about in teaching this course to you guys, I care more about you guys preserving your capital because the more money you have in the stock market, the longer you'll be able to in the stock market. So if you manage your risk loss correctly, that's all that really matters. Because if you're risking $11 per trade, $10 per trade is fine. But if you're risking $50, $60, $80 for a trade, you're losing $8 per trade, you will not be in this game long. Guys, so as you guys see, we had a scalp here, one trade here. We bid on the pullback, two trade here. And as always, guys, see how price came into the demand zone here and it's still respected it here. So we know as long as price stay in this zone, it's going to come back down to back to the demand zone. Or price could come back down here and form a little higher high there, guys. Let me make this a little official for you guys. Price could also do this, right? Since price have respected the demand zone, price could just came back down there and then form a higher high. Because it haven't yet give us a market shift until we see something like that. Until price did that, then you guys see we have a market shift. Because price, why? Because like I told you guys, as long as price break price the previous low, it'll be a market shift, guys. So that's how you trade the supply and demand on a 50-minute time frame. Guys, it's the same scenario on a 1-minute time frame. To be honest with you, trading supply and demand either any time frame, it really don't matter. Because as you guys see here, even though like I said, this is a bullish market, bull market, guys, we're still profiting. Why? Because simply we can come here, guys, and just so that we can have a short. Because why? Price tap into the supply zone here, and guys, as you guys see how price, you see this small shoulder over here that break the demand, that supply zone. What price did? Price came back down, tap into the demand zone. So what you guys would have done, right? Even though this market still went back up, look, put your stop loss below it, and it's gonna always retrace, guys. So you guys scalper, you catch a retrace, and as you guys see how this candlestick here, if you look close enough, let me see if I can zoom in for you guys. You see this small little V shape here, guys? Guys, look at this right there. As simple as this V shape look right here. Right there. Price came back down. What price did? Look how it smashed it. Just from this right here, this small little candlestick that touch it, that cross the supply zone, price say, you know what, screw it. We came back down and we break it again. Just by this little confirmation code here, it destroyed over here. So even though this, like I said, guys, even though this is a supply zone and demand zone, we don't really care, guys, because guess what? I'm teaching you guys how to mimic both. So vice versa now on the demand zone, like you said, as price touches supply zone here, it's going to come back down. And you guys see, like I tell you guys, just do not enter on the pullback. Wait for the pullback to happen, because as a quick scalper, you can enter here, it's fine. But for extra confirmation code and an intraday trader, wait for the pullback, guys. Remember I told you earlier, once the pullback, the previous low, do not break the previous low, you're all set. You see in this scenario how it didn't, and it went back up, and then it came back down to the demand zone again, and it still didn't break it. And in respect it, vice versa over here, how this previous low here disrespected this previous low, but even though it disrespected it, guys, it still was able to stay in the demand zone and didn't break past it. So both trades, guys, is perfect situation. So you guys see here, guys, vice versa. The pullback is key, guys. Wait for the pullback, supply zone and demand zone. As always too, guys, remember now, price will not always respect a supply zone and demand zone. Price could do whatever, guys. It can, like I said, it can just come above there and then go back this way, or it can just completely come into the supply zone. But like I said, always be aware of order block. If you're just particularly trading supply and demand, always be aware of order block. And like I said, guys, order block will be found in where? Supply zone and also in demand zone. With that being said, guys, I hope this video find you guys helpful, impactful, knowledgeable. As always, stay blessed and mind your business.